My name is Kelly and I've had 4 miscarriages. Today I'm going to talk about my immunology test results. So I just recently received the results from the Beer Center with my RepoSource specialized immune testing results, and I'm going to share those with you today. The first thing that they tested was my anti-phospholipid antibodies, and that was completely normal on me. They also tested my factor 13 gene variant, and I did not have any mutations for that particular gene. That it's something that's related to blood clotting, and I didn't have that blood clotting issue. And they did an LAD test, which is the leukocyte antibody detection. And the way that an LAD test works is that they take some of your blood and they take some of your partner's blood and they spin it together, they mix it together, and then they check to see like how your blood reacted to your partner's blood. And what you want in this result, and they give you like 4 different numbers for the LAD test. And what you want, from what I understand, is for these numbers to be 50% or above, because what that means is that your body saw that your partner's DNA was in fact not your DNA, like it's somebody else's DNA, and so it mounted somewhat of an immune response. Because from what I'm learning, it seems like immunology in pregnancy is a really delicate sort of tightrope. You want to have some immune response because some immune response is required in order for a proper implantation and for the placenta to grow. But you don't want to have too much immune response, because if you have too much immune response, then it will attack the baby and the baby can't grow anymore. So this LAD test, from what I understand, is trying to make sure that that your body sees your partner's DNA as outside DNA, and it elicits at least some response. So my results on those were pretty abysmal. My results were between like 2% and 8% was my highest result. Let's see. So my IgM was 2.5%. My IgG was 8.4%, my IgM B cells was 4.1%, and my IgG B cells was 4.3%. So this is something that I'm thinking Dr. Stricker is going to want to try to raise these numbers, but I have not had my consultation with him yet. That will be this week on Friday. So as of right now, I just know that my LAD tests were really low. Now, fun fact, I have done some research, and not all of the reproductive immunologists seem to agree on LAD test results. If you look at what Dr. Braverman has said, he looks more at your DQ, like it's HLA, oh shoot, what's it called? Your DQ alpha HLA test results. He looks at those more so than the LAD test. And so he doesn't really, just because your LAD test is low, he doesn't automatically say that you need treatment. For me, I decided, like, it's just kind of like the decision that we made is that we were going to go with the Beer Center, and we're going to go with the beer protocol and everything that they do, because I read his book and everything makes sense and I believe in him. So that's what we're doing. But I just wanted to put it out there that not every doctor will run a LAD test, and not every doctor will treat low leukocyte antibody detection, or low leukocyte antibodies. The next test that they did was some kind of, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but it's like a FOXP3 Treg. I think in most of the literature that I read about, they seem to refer to it as Treg. They also tested my natural killer cells. They did a full assay of that, and my natural killer cells were pretty good. The only one that was like borderline was my 50-1, and I'm not really sure exactly what that reference is, but it's like a 50 and a colon and a 1. So that was the only natural killer cell result that was like ever so slightly elevated, but it was really, really slight. They want your number to be below 10, and my number for that one was 10.5. So I'm not sure if he's going to want to do anything about that, or if 10.5 is okay. And I found it pretty interesting that once they test your natural killer cells, they also seem to take your natural killer cells and then apply both intralipids and then 2 different concentrations of IVIG solution to your natural killer cells to see just how much it suppresses the natural killer cells. And I guess they do that to try to see like if IVIG is going to work for you, which I found like that's pretty cool to know that ahead of time. And looking at that, the intralipids lowered my natural killer cells by like 8%. Let's see, 8.2%. So technically, if we're trying to lower that 10.5 number below 10, then maybe intralipids would be enough to do that, but I'm not sure. But I did see that the IVIG, the 2 concentrations of that lowered my natural killer cells by, one of them was like 35% and the other was 57%. So definitely, based on my test results, the IVIG does a substantially better job at lowering natural killer cells than intralipids do. But I'm not sure what I'm gonna need for that. Final test that I had done with RepoSource was my cytokines, which is the T helper cell ratio. So it's like sometimes it'll read as Th1 to Th2 ratio. And this is the one that I'm kind of unsure about. I'm kind of worried about this one because mine were pretty high, it looks like, according to what I'm looking at and what it says the normal range is. I'm gonna have to read this because the I don't know, it's pretty intense, the naming of them. So there is the TNF alpha to IL-10 ratio, and that one, my ratio is 37.4. And from what I understand, you want that to be below 30. So that one's fairly high at 37. And then the other one is IFNG to IL-10. And my result for that one is 19.2. And it looks like the upper end of the normal range is 17.6. So 19 is a bit high for that one. And then they also show like the individual values. And so my TNF alpha was 72, which is normal, but my IFNG was 37, which is high. And then my IL-10 was 1.9, which is normal. So again, I'm not 100% sure what this is gonna require treatment-wise, but it does tell me on the little readout that for the TNF alpha to IL-10 ratio, that for infertile female population, like, have a TNF alpha ratio that is over 36.7, and that over 36.7 is the highest 5th percentile of infertile females. So that doesn't make me feel too confident in my results because mine was 37. So it sounds like I am in the very infertile percentile for that. And then for the IFNG to IL-10 ratio, it says that over 13.9 is in the high 5th percentile for infertile females. And for that one, I was up to 19.2. So I also fall in the high infertile range for that one, it looks like. So based off of the test results that I have had done so far, I know that I have protein S deficiency, MTHFR, heterozygous for MTHFR, heterozygous for PAI1 polymorphism. I have something going on with my immunoglobulins. I have low leukocyte antibodies to my husband's DNA. I have high TNF alpha and cytokine ratios, and I have a borderline, possible borderline natural killer cell results, but maybe it's okay, I'm not sure. And yeah, I think that's what I know so far. And my next video should be about discussing these results with my doctor. I will share what my doctor has told me would be my treatment protocol, and I'll share what our next steps are moving forward. So until next time, thank you again for watching, and I wish you hope on your journey wherever it may take you.